You're in one group or the other. Every person in here. Every person in this worship center, you're in one group or the other. You're either in the process of perishing or you're in the process of being saved. And the determining factor of whether you're in the process of perishing or you're in the process of being saved is whether or not you have put your trust in Jesus Christ, who declared, "It is finished." The determining factor is not whether you showed up today. The determining factor is not whether you're going to give to financially support this church. The determining factor is not whether you showed up to spruce up the church grounds yesterday. The determining factor is not how many people you're going to invite to be with us next weekend for Easter. No, the determining factor is whether or not you have recognized your sinfulness, you've recognized your desperate need for Christ, and you have put your trust in the one who was crucified for you and whom God raised from the dead. That's the determining factor. The determining factor is the gracious kindness of God in opening our eyes to the truth of the gospel. The determining factor is whether or not the Father has drawn you to His Son Jesus and enabled you to put your trust in Him. Right? It's not my effort. It's not your effort. Now, if you've been saved, if you're a child of God, if you're a saint, if you're regenerate, if you're really in, then there ought to be evidences of that in our lives. Right? We should have a desire for the things of God. Jesus says, John chapter 14, verse 15, "If you love me, you will keep my commandments." Right? So if we love Jesus, we're going to do what Jesus wants us to do. If we love God, we're going to do what God wants us to do. So it's not that coming to the worship gathering is unimportant. Right? It's not that being a part of the church family is unimportant. It's not that gathering and grouping and giving and going is unimportant. No, it's very important. In fact, I would argue that it's essential to our spiritual health and well-being. But we gather and we group and we give and we go not in order to be saved. We gather and we group and we give and go because we are saved because of the graciousness of God. Gathering and grouping and giving and going isn't what brings about our salvation. It ought to be the result of our salvation.